Caitlin Clark is in this league? Like, what's going on? So Alexa had to come back, double back on it, and said, FYI, Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, and Kayla McBride were invited to participate in the three-point contest, but declined, a source told ESPN. So she ended up declining, man. Now, honestly, there are players, the players that are on the list are shooting better from the three than Caitlin and Sabrina. They're both a little low. I think Caitlin is at 33%. Sabrina is at maybe, I want to say like 28 or something like that, 28% from the three.
A recent update confirmed that Caitlin Clark opted out of joining the upcoming three-point shootout, sparking plenty of discussion across the fan base. Reporter Alexa Filippo first shared the list of 6 confirmed participants: Alicia Gray, Marina Mabry, Ryan Howard, Natasha Cloud, Bridget Carlton, and Janelle Salon. The reaction was immediate, with many fans questioning why a player of Clark's profile was left off the roster entirely.
28% from the three. So, I mean, Kayla McBride, she's shooting like 39 from the three. So I really don't know why they declined. Maybe wanted to just give other players an opportunity to be in it. But, man, I've been waiting for Caitlin to be in this thing for 3 years now. I need some Caitlin in that three-point contest, man. You know what I'm saying? Knocking down those threes. I know she said she wanted to do her first one in the WNBA. Remember, they were trying to do the crossover with Steph, right? I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that too, man. Had a special moment.
Filippo followed up shortly after, clarifying that Clark, along with Sabrina Ionescu and Kayla McBride, had actually been invited, but chose not to participate. Notably, several of the confirmed participants have stronger three-point percentages than either Clark or Ionescu this season. Clark sits around 33%, Ionescu closer to 28%, while McBride is shooting nearly 39%. Even so, there's been anticipation for years about seeing Clark in this event, particularly given earlier talk of a possible crossover shooting exhibition involving Steph Curry. Speculation followed that the declines from Clark and Ionescu could be setting up a surprise showcase event instead, similar to the format Ionescu previously did with Curry during the NBA's own contest.
Oh, I might have just figured out what they're trying to do then. Hold on. What if Steph come over and do the three-point contest against Caitlin and Sabrina? But it doesn't make sense Kayla McBride is thrown in there. Maybe they're trying to throw us off. I don't know, man. I'm just throwing stuff to the wall and seeing if it sticks, honestly. But that would be dope. If Steph come over and do a three-point shootout with Caitlin and Sabrina.
Beyond the excitement around a potential Curry crossover, there was frustration that none of the 6 confirmed names carry strong mainstream pull, especially for casual viewers who don't already follow the league closely. Attention turned to Kelsey Mitchell, who is shooting roughly 42% from 3 on solid volume, a clip better than several confirmed contestants, yet wasn't included. Sophie Cunningham was also flagged, currently shooting around 44% from deep, despite playing without the same level of surrounding all-star talent as some other snubbed shooters. The overall sentiment was that passing over 2 of the more productive shooters on the league's most-watched team was a questionable decision from an exposure standpoint.
Three-point shootout with Caitlin and Sabrina. That's what people been asking for the past, I want to say 2 years. That first year we heard about Sabrina going over to the NBA. She did that, right? And had that three-point shooting contest with him. And, yeah, we had that whole thing where they were like, look, Steph need to come over to the WNBA, yada, yada, yada. So I would love to see that, man. I would love to see that. Hopefully that might be something they have in the bag that's a surprise or something, because I can't hold y'all, man. I got love for these players, right?
The discussion also touched on Clark being named Player of the Week yet again, drawing recognition for her continued strong stretch of play.
I got love for these players, right? I got love for these players, but man, none of these names are popping out. All right? None of these names are popping out at the masses. That's not going to make people watch. You do have people that like the W, like a lot of the other players throughout the league. Like, I do like some of these players, right? But you got to think about the people that don't watch. You got to think about the people that don't like basketball. How are you going to draw those eyes, man? And Caitlin does that, all right? Caitlin does that. She declined. So the next best thing I would say.
Separately, attention turned to a controversy involving Sophie Cunningham's viral stare-down moment directed at Dejanai Carrington. According to the Players Union, official league partners, including 2K, Panini, Leaf, and Breaking Tea, have been blocked from commercially using or profiting from that moment, with the union describing the gesture as inappropriate for promotional use. However, Cunningham retains her individual NIL rights and has continued to monetize the moment independently, publicly stating she won't let that stop her business opportunities.
She declined, so the next best thing I would say is get somebody from the most popular team in the league. You telling me Kelsey Mitchell couldn't make this? I mean, unless she declined too. All right, because I'm looking, 3 points, 3-point attempts, right? 6.5, 7 if you're rounding. She's shooting 42% from the three. 42% from the three, fam. That is better than Ryan. That is better than Marina Mabry. Now they're taking, let's see, Ryan, she's shooting 2 more shots than Kelsey, and Marina is shooting 1 more if we're rounding, right?
Critics pointed out the inconsistency of restricting a moment like this, while the league's own promotional material has previously leaned into competitive intensity and on-court confrontation, referencing an earlier league commercial that leaned heavily into an edgy confrontational tone.
Marina is shooting 1 more if we're rounding, right? Like, are you kidding me? Kelsey Mitchell is on fire, man, and you decide not to put her in this list of contestants? Are you kidding me? Are you like, what are you doing, man? Somebody played a Chris Brown. You know it's obvious. Come on, dog. It's obvious to put Kelsey Mitchell in this thing. Like, what are you thinking? And then not only that, I mean, Sophie Cunningham, dog, shooting 44% from the three. Man, that lady got a sniper out there on the floor.
Finally, viewership continued to trend upward around Clark. Following her 45-point outing against Seattle, interest spiked for the next matchup, with CBS Sports reporting that the recent Indiana-New York game became the most-watched WNBA broadcast on any network this season, and the second most-watched overall since 2000. That primetime matchup averaged around 2.5 million viewers, peaking above 3 million. CBS now holds both of the season's top 2 most-watched broadcasts, the July 18th and June 6th Indiana-New York matchups, each averaging roughly 2.5 million viewers. Despite ongoing organizational turbulence around the Fever, Clark continues to drive record engagement and sustained audience interest in the league.
Ooh, man, that lady got a sniper out there on the floor, and you decided to skip over her too? Now, 2 players I'm thinking about that could be replaced by Sophie could be AZ Fudd, right? She's shooting 38.8, and she's only shooting 1 more shot than Sophie Cunningham. And mind you, Sophie is shooting this, doing this, with 3 All-Stars. 3 All-Stars on her team, dog. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Not 2. AZ's doing it with 2. Sophie's doing it with 3. That's wild, man. No Kelsey.
A WNBA legend recently weighed in on the ongoing debate surrounding the Indiana Fever's offensive structure, specifically regarding how the team divides responsibility between its 2 leading guards. The comments, made during a podcast appearance, touched on questions about who the Fever should lean on in critical moments, and whether the front office and coaching staff have clearly defined those roles.
Like, is Caitlin going to be your superstar? And your Batman, and Kelsey, your Robin. When last year, when Caitlin was out, then you relied heavily on Kelsey. And you guys were 1 game away from making it to the finals, right? So my thing is, we talked about roles earlier. You have to be able to establish roles. Caitlin is our...
The discussion centered on identifying who Indiana's true focal point should be.
Earlier. You have to be able to establish roles. Caitlin is our go-to. This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to play, and this is how we're going to win. You can't have not knowing who's going to take that shot or who we're going to in a crucial moment of a game, in a crucial moment of a season. You have to figure that out now. And I think that's it. For the Aces haven't been consistent, like a consistent scoring team.
Yeah.
All season. That's where their Achilles heel.
The broader point raised was that roles need to be clearly established within a team. One player was described as the designated go-to option in crucial situations, with an emphasis that ambiguity about who takes the final shot late in games can be costly. A comparison was drawn to the Las Vegas Aces, whose lack of consistent scoring has been identified as their biggest weakness this season. A team needs a reliable scoring threat to consistently separate itself from the pack, and compete for a title.
Season. That's where their Achilles heel is. The Aces have to be able to score points on a consistent basis to consistently be head and shoulders above everyone else and to fight for a championship. Who is your superstar, Indiana Fever?
That's good.
28 points, 44% from 3, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. She was just named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey Mitchell.
When pushed on who currently fills that go-to role for Indiana, the response pointed to Kelsey Mitchell, highlighting a recent stat line: 28 points, 44% shooting from 3, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, along with a Player of the Week honor. The point made was that there's nothing contradictory about Mitchell being the primary option, while Caitlin Clark remains the team's biggest star. Clark's all-around scoring ability, court vision, and range were praised extensively, with the argument being that her talent doesn't get diminished by Mitchell handling primary duties. Rather, Mitchell's consistency and leadership in big moments complement it.
I think we need to start.
We know it's not just the week either.
Huh?
And we know her impact is not just for the week.
My point is,
killer.
there is nothing wrong with Kelsey being your go-to player and Caitlin being your star. It doesn't take away from Caitlin's ability to do everything on the court. Caitlin can score she can get to the rim, she can get to the free throw line, she can definitely knock down the three-point.
The conversation then turned to how differently the Fever operate with and without Clark on the floor. Without her, it was noted that things become more straightforward since the primary scorer is clearly established, whereas with Clark active, that balance has to be managed more carefully. A parallel was drawn to legendary teams that featured multiple Hall of Fame caliber players simultaneously, where establishing a clear pecking order was still essential, because opposing teams will always try to exploit any lack of clarity, whether by trying to match a team's level or pull it down. The emphasis was on knowing, in key moments, exactly who the ball is going to and what the play is, even if that player isn't the one taking the final shot, but instead setting up someone else.
She can get to the rim, she can get to the free throw line, she can definitely knock down the three-point. I mean, she can knock down that thing almost from half court, right? And she can lead your team in assists. She can go ahead and get a triple-double.
Right now.
Like that, she is a star. She is a walking star in this league. That doesn't mean that you have to go away from Kelsey Mitchell, who's a leader, who's consistent, and who's been there every single important moment.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Attention then shifted to comments from Aaliyah Boston following a separate media session. Asked about carrying momentum forward, she emphasized the importance of staying focused, given how well Connecticut has been playing recently, along with being sharp defensively, while still pushing pace offensively.
I was asked this the other day, and I want to ask you, what does this Indiana Fever team look like without Caitlin and with Caitlin? Like how, and I feel like it's what you said, Kelsey Mitchell
like
has
a totally
to kind of
different team.
be more prominent, more ball handling, more assertive with her scoring. But what do those two different teams look like? Because we've seen both.
Well, when you don't have Caitlin, it's almost easier because you know who your go-to player is. When you have Caitlin, now you have to balance it.
She also touched on being separated from a longtime teammate for All-Star selection purposes, expressing excitement about the format despite no longer playing alongside her. She reflected on what earning an All-Star selection means to her, noting she never takes it for granted given the depth of talent in the league, and expressed enthusiasm about the possibility of climbing further up the all-time All-Star appearance list, referencing a past conversation about chasing down a well-known veterans total.
Now you have to balance it. And I akin it to Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper. Like, you have Tina Thompson, for goodness sake. Like, you have these three incredible players on your team, Hall of Famers on your team, but you still need to know the pecking order. You have to know the pecking order because every team is going to try to exploit it. Every single team, because you are the level.
Boston also praised a teammate's growth, pointing to increased discipline, athleticism, and defensive versatility, citing a standout blocked shot in Phoenix as a major momentum swing in a game. She discussed how that teammate's rookie-year confidence has developed, noting she no longer second-guesses herself and has settled into her role of rebounding, shot blocking, and generally impacting the game.
That they want to be at. And so they're trying to pull you down or climb up. And you have to know in important moments where we're going, what we're doing, who we're going to. And that person sometimes isn't the one that shoots the ball. She just makes the play. It could be a dump off to Boston. It could be a dump off to a three-point shot for Caitlin. It could be a dump off for a three-point shot from Kelsey. But you have to know what's happening. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
On the topic of a teammate's improved three-point shooting, Boston noted pride in already surpassing her own three-point totals from previous seasons combined, crediting an off-season focus on that part of her game, while also praising a teammate for shooting the ball extremely well overall. Asked whether she'd participate in the three-point contest this year after previous jokes about it, she said she likely wouldn't, joking about how eager she once was to be included versus her current hesitation. Looking ahead to a rematch with Connecticut, she emphasized the importance of defending one's individual matchup, noting a Connecticut forward has been particularly aggressive attacking the interior, and that the keys to the game would come down to discipline on defense and playing at Indiana's preferred pace.